Hello, welcome to June Energy Update. For this one, I'm going to do something a little different by walking through some of the newsletter that I wrote for June Energy because it's really important to really receive these messages and really allow them to sink into your consciousness. And there really is some quite valuable information there to help integrate. What I'm hearing is your human and your angelic self, or your human and your soul self, or your human and your star origin self, if that's your thing. Your human and your God self. Whatever two forms of heaven and earth you feel that you connect with. Because that's what it's about. It's about bringing together, bridging together those two aspects into the whole. And as I say that, there's a sense of wholeness wanting to come through, of balance, of integrating all the parts. That's part of what this month is about. And really, it's a really big pivotal time for major, I wanted to say transformation, without the big hype premise, right? Because sometimes we talk about the big energies and it can sound really contrite. And it's about higher frequencies as they come in and as the astrological movements do their thing, and when something very beneficial, very benevolent, very harmonious comes through, we can feel that, as well as rises, spikes in energy that have been coming in for quite some time now. And this is where Earth's energy rises in frequency, and our energy bodies do too as well. But we also go through the hurts and the pains and the difficulties. So one version is when that high light comes in and our shadows come up, or we go through these ascension symptoms of like body pains and all these different things. At the same time, it's about as astrological movements come through that dig up old past pains, or that place us into shadows, or bring up fears, they are all to resolve through them in order to enter a space of more harmony and wholeness and resonance. We can't escape this whole dual notion on Earth, right? Okay, so it's a major shift, reorientation, transition with two, I felt like two, could be two or more major energetic pivots. So we already were feeling, if you've watched my last shorter energy update for late May, was really feeling like big energy shifts happening, right? And it was like big timeline jumping. And it really catapulted the momentum that we're now entering into. But everything is always sort of like up and down, right? This and that. So it's really important, I think. It would actually be a good idea at the beginning of every single energy update to actually say, everybody's different, all these things are going on, the big, negative ones that are in charge and all the negative energy like to do their thing and ramp things up, right? And all of this is happening behind the scenes at the same time. I'm really drawn to that line, two things can be true at once. So example, high light energy coming in, same time, negative forces doing bad stuff, right? And so it's really important to note that, because if you're hearing anyone's sort of like intuitive messages or updates or an astrologer or whatever, and I'm not an astrologer, I just feel into the energy of what's happening. And at any time, you could be experiencing the downside while we're speaking about up things, right? Or opposite. You're feeling great and you're hearing messages about shadow stuff coming up and oh, it's so intense. So this is just because we're all in our own cycles and there's so many things rapidly going on at once. I think the important thing to really remember and to pay attention to and stay aligned with is your connection straight up to God's source, and keeping things in perspective and not getting lost and stuck in that lower energy, because we're always going to get the disruptions, right? I pulled out a few cards from my trusty psychic tarot deck that I often use. I haven't used them for a little while, but one of the cards that came up was disruption, right? And it came upside down, meaning, yeah, this is a thing to take notice of, right? That's the Tower card, basically. And I'm just showing you that now because this is what happens, right? Because at the same time, we've got, major transformation happening. And this is separate to, I'd already written the stuff about all of that, which I'm going to be reading through to you. But I just want to show you, it's just echoed in the cards as well now, just to validate things, right? So I might as well go through this now. So basically the first card was this, and I'm really seeing this as you have inadvertently, or it feels that way, set up a foundation. All of everything you've been going through for months, years even, has led you to be able to get to the point of almost like looking back now on the old life, because things are not like they used to be. We're in a different era, different timeline, just everything is different. So however you resonate with this, it could be very quite literal for some people and just metaphoric for others. There's a sense of, okay, here are all the achievements done, and I know you're feeling the opposite, right? Many of us are feeling the opposite of achievements, but they're saying, no, that's not what it's about. It's not about the deficits, the difficulties, and I screwed it up and now I have all these regrets and why didn't I do this, and all those things that we put ourselves through and that life mirrors to us. It's more about a higher sense of achievement. You did it. You have worked through 5 or 500 lifetimes of karmic debt or energies that needed to be tied up. Here we were believing in the illusion of life that it's meant to be like Little House on the Prairie that the TV shows us and that we grew up with, thinking, you know, that's how life is, and you get a house and everyone's happy. It's not like that, right? We go through our trials and tribulations. But this is about looking back, reflecting back. If you get any personal messages about these people as well here, the family members, this could be, this one stands out as being slightly separate from these two. So that could be a father figure. It could be, you know, partner. It could be clergy or patriarchy or a spiritual leader. Positive, negative, however you feel into it. It's very much about what you feel, right? Lots of green healing energy here, more root chakra stuff here. You know, and then we've got the rainbow over things, so whatever that might mean to you personally. So that's what we've sort of been coming out of. It's also the number 4 card, which is very to do with structure. And so now we are entering a period where, okay, it's time now. That's it now. Even though, yes, we're going to keep going through our stuff and working through layers, whereas before it might have left you on the couch and made you feel like incapacitated, right? You've gone through all the isolation periods and all that stuff. Now it's like, okay, we're moving on to a new chapter. We're at the transition point. The next card that came through is Passion Ignited. There's so much of this energy happening now, and it's very much, we're in a 1 year. I just noticed the 1 as well. So it's a 1 card, and it's all like new beginning stuff, right? This is also very much making me feel of connecting with that inner spirit and that inner spark, and you know the things in your creativity that you want to bring into being. And it's time now, like I cannot, if this needs to be your message of go do that thing, start that thing. It has been echoed and pressed upon. It's made me get up and do this video right now. And also see that circle, that's the wholeness I spoke of, that balance from earlier. Also see a V shape on the neck, which I feel is like divine feminine, rising up, creativity sparking, and also coming from a place of heart space and soul connection, and that anchoring in the higher spiritual knowledge and vision and creativity, vision, dreams, aspirations, goals, all of that stuff now. Okay, then it was the transformation card, which I've spoke on. And this is like, no one's perfect here. And this is, that's the bare essentials, right? And yeah, a lot of people going through like the financial difficulties and all that stuff. But it's like, this is about, I'm hearing health, faith, restoration, healing, belief, not clutching on to things in the old way, being open to the new way, which leads to more freedom. But keep in mind, we're going to have disruptions, and this is ongoing, right? 2 steps forward, 1 back, or 5 back, and 3 forward, and it keeps going like that. And also really in this, I see it's about everything that represents all your fears, not believing in yourself, lack of confidence and stuff. And that's all coming into turning about. I've been showing right now. So let's get into it. Gosh, this is going to be a long video. I didn't want it to be so long, but let's go. So, okay, so we've got big collective turning points and this catapult sense of momentum and significant shifts from late May, moving now in as we ease into June. There's a sense of, okay, I'm a bit wobbly. I'm not quite straight yet, but I've got these urges. It's this quiet sense, like a quiet, strong internal push. Do you feel that? And I actually wrote in the newsletter, there is an internal ignition. And now, days later, doesn't that align? Have you felt a quiet but strong internal push? Really want you to feel that. What is that for you? What is that telling you? If you are aligned, because it's all about alignment, this is about being encouraged and initiated. How does that word sound to you? Initiation. Into approaching things the new way and not in the old. These are lessons we've been learning now for days and weeks, maybe even months, about there's old ways that we've done stuff. It could be really big stuff. It could be little stuff like your daily routine. And it's about now stopping yourself from going into those older habits so that you can bring this newness, this transformation to life. And the old stuff is going to be a disruption. And so you will know what that is for you. And so now, so we want to move on from that. Do you feel that sense of determination to like do things differently, feel differently, choose differently, move, start something? Are you feeling those shifts, right? Okay. So have you felt you're ready, even overripe, but you're giddying up to change? So as I started to write this newsletter, it started to get into horse terminology, and it was quite funny because I didn't realize it at first, and then I realized after a few references of horses, and I'm like, oh, hang on a minute, of course, it's the horse year this year as well. Then after I wrote this, that same day, that night, and then in the next few days, I kept seeing horses everywhere, like on TV or in an image or whatever. So it says, have you felt ready, overripe, or giddying up to change? Or at least like it's coming. And then as I said that, I heard the song that I haven't heard for so many years since I was a kid. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. And so, of course, she's riding a horse, right? And then she'll be wearing pink pajamas when she comes. And I added that bit in, and it wasn't until today, just before this video, when I briefly looked at it again, and I thought I laughed at pink pajamas because I have these new pink pajamas that my kids bought me for Mother's Day, and I'm like, oh, that is really funny. So that links in with me there, but anyway. Also, when you're wearing pajamas, like it's kind of that analogy of is the old thing that you do, like sitting on the couch and not getting up and doing that thing, right? Been in your pajamas. Now it's time to shake that up, or wear your pajamas and do it anyway. So then I moved into, so yes, I said reminder because then it came into my consciousness about the horse year. And then I'm seeing a vision of horses ready to push through the gates. So just like when you watch the horse race, and I'm in Melbourne, Australia, we have the Melbourne Cup, sort of worldwide known horse race here that we always watch. I'm just seeing that image right now. You've got all the gates and the horses are all lined up, right? But as they're lined up, they're not just stationary like, yeah, whatever, and then the gates open and then, then they leap forward. It is like built up. So not only have they been highly trained and they're all preened and all the things, but it's the rev up, right? I often hear that, and I'm hearing it again now, as the rev up of car engines. They're revving up, revving up, revving up. And so that when the gates open, which is very fast, at the flick of the eye, like a guillotine, they say and show me, they fly forward. And this is about quantum leaps, quantum jumps. These are things that we don't understand always consciously when these things are, when we're in the opposite of it. When we're in the opposite of it and we want to get a project done and we're just in the mud and we're like, why isn't this happening? I'm going to get so behind. And then the funny thing is that actually, in real truth, we needed to go through that period to work through the shadows, to have all those fears and silly stuff come up and whatever it is. And then in this new energy, all of a sudden we fly forward and we do 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times more, or at a more quantum, higher energy, higher quality level than before. They show me now it's like a high quality AI versus the low quality. Okay. And so from that pushing through the gates message, that's when I started to realize, okay, we got a horse theme going on here. This is when the 1 year is really beginning to activate, okay? Activate. Just as I looked up then, I saw 1717, which I really feel is, I see that number more rarely, and it really is a feeling of, this is it now. We're in alignment with spiritual truth and energy. And it's a next level stage. So then I connected with Source. I always connect with Source, God, however you like to refer to it. I like to say God, Source often, and really allowed that connection to come through more deeply. And then I was hearing these words like inspired action, new ideas, ready to go, as well as alert signals. So this makes a lot of sense with these cards now, right? We've got one, let's go, I'm ignited, and then we've got disruption, disruption energy. And we know how it is. We've been in that before, but it's in a very new, different way, in a higher way right now in the stage of evolution that we're in. And so when alert signals come on, so okay, I'm inspired, okay, I've got a few days of getting something coming in, or even in one day, the morning, mid-morning, I'm great. Then at 12:15, right, or lunchtime, a disruption comes in, right? You know, it's like a storm energy, whatever that is. So pay attention to these alert signals, what they're telling you. It might mean that you know, there is some lower energy coming in. It might mean it's time to slow down, recalibrate, ready for the next turn and go. They're showing me the horses again now, that the horses can't keep leaping forward. They can't keep running at that gigantic speed round the tracks, right? They'll go crazy, and they actually say they'll go crazy, which is really interesting, like spinning around in circles, right? Like even if they could, like they were battery operated, they would go nuts at some point, and also we would go nuts, right? And also apart from all the normal things like needing rest, okay? So this is about all those things. Needing rest, needing a break, needing to reground, because the next influx is coming in, and we reground. We're like, okay, you might go through some lower stuff, or you might just be totally exhausted out of the blue. Like it's 4 p.m. and you're knocked out, you can't even take one more step forward and you're lights out. So all these different kinds of scenarios. So that's important to remember as well, because when these happen, which is why they show it, these are not like warning danger, like, alert signals. This is to do with being in tune with yourself, your body, and with spirit, and understanding how things are happening and why. And so in order for us to move forward and in a more higher evolution, we need to also remember that it is a spiral, and that we spiral up, we spiral down, that there's a balance in it. But in order to go up, we've got to go through those down bits. So then with that, I saw a turnstile and different groups of horses being led out of gates at different times. So that's what I read, and they're showing me now, it's like there's different levels of horses, like let's say there was the A-class Melbourne Cup horses. That's like the, frontliners, like what we sometimes call in the spiritual world, with the old souls that have come in, the frontliners, the pioneers, the ones like leading the cause. But that has changed over time, whereas some might be in their 70s and 80s, and that still does apply, for example, or in their 60s or earlier. Now too, there are more coming up. There are more coming up from a younger age and being there, or that were just in the second or third leg and now they're moving up. So, and there's no hierarchy here. This is just about being us and who we are and what we came here to do, okay? So they were showing me there's different levels, like divisions in a sports club. And so these different groups of horses are being led out of the gates at different times, and they're signifying different soul groups, pioneers, next wavers, going one group at a time, like rolling waves. It's interesting that wave came through. I really love the wave energy shifts because they are smooth and they can take us far, and they mean like we mean business. This is like the waves happening regardless. It is not that kind of staticky or different kinds of energy that feel different things. It is the wave is coming and it's moving through, it's cleansing, and it's taking us through to the next level. So then after that, then there's the big crash crescendo. Again, that's the disruption, okay? And it's the one where you get burnout. There's a steady buildup of energy and then it peaks, and then a wave has to crash, right? And then it has the debris after it. And the crashing, rolling waves can be like that. The white stuff that comes from the crash can be positive too. It can be like a high cleanse and then you're charged up and you're activated. Or it could be like you're totally knocked out. You were rolling around in the waves and you could barely hang on and all your stuff's everywhere and you're in a million pieces. And so, do you see, I'm just trying to really get through in this too, that it doesn't matter where you're at or what's coming up, or if you feel like you're not with someone else's, it's not about that, just trusting it in yourself and what you feel through these messages yourself. So then it says in the small wave rolls, okay, so next comes smaller waves. So they were the big ones, and then smaller waves. It's like the aftershock, right? The after waves. And it can be like a crash and burn until the next, and then a quantum jump wave again, and then the next phase and the next phase. So they're really showing that this comes in phases and cycles. Okay, and then from there I was hearing move into grounded action. So that's about what I said before about anchoring it in, and align with the highest timeline frequency. How can you do this? With intention. Don't underestimate the power of intention. That intention is everything in our spiritual work, in our daily lives. You, with your intention, your focus, your intent, can put yourself in a higher timeline, in a way where instead of pivoting to the old, it's pivoting to the new. And a very simple thing is even that couch analogy I said prior, whereas yesterday you did the couch thing, or all the days before. Today you're about to go there and you redirect yourself. You go, no, actually no. I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to have a herbal tea. I'm going to write a chapter of that book, or whatever it is. Okay. And so it's time to pick up the pieces and emerge. emerge, like come out of your shell, come out of hiding. You will know what this means for you. Just come out, get out, whatever it is. And for some, it's more, instead of emerge, though that still applies, it's re-emerge, because they did it and then they were like, oh shit, this is hard, I'm going back to my rock, right? And they hibernated for a while, they maybe poked their heads out, okay? It doesn't mean like now you need to go and do like 1,000 million things. This is aligned emergence. And so there will be light workers ready to go and spring forth. And this is about you pivoting into the timeline that feels the most aligned, the authentic and true to you. Next in line from that, like from the, the first ones, is the ones who are preparing to. So I've been in a preparing energy for about what feels like a gazillion years right now. But you might be, now I feel like I'm on the next, in the first wave, and I'm ready. Like doing this video even is my first step of that right now, literally. So my activation with intention will activate you and whatever is right for you. I'm feeling that there is somebody out there or a group of you that are feeling unwell or whatever that is. It feels more physical, right? You've gone through a lot of physical challenges, but it can also be mental, emotional, or whatever it is for you yourself, and that it's okay. The ignition can just be an ignited thought, an ignited recognition. If you have a sense of recognition in the ignition, they show me the word ignition is in recognition. See how it works? And re is like remember. This is about remember who you are. And that will be enough. It is a seed of awareness, which I feel right now is growing as I speak. Just wanted to see if there were any cards that wanted to come through with my new deck. Yes, of course. Of course there is, because that's what I was feeling. And it was interesting because right before the video when I did these cards, I felt like I wanted to get this, which is my new deck that I've gotten from Rebecca Campbell, The Inner Temple, her newest deck. And she normally does very sort of pastel-y, very soft feminine colors. This is her first deck when she's gone bold with like black and gold, or yeah, really cool. So anyway, I haven't really fully connected with these cards, but I have done the initial connection. And as I was speaking just before, I was like, it's time now. It's time now, because it wasn't time before the video. Okay, interesting. Okay, the masks we wear. Okay, what are the masks that you have been wearing? It's time for them to come off. See, this is the true, authentic you. And it's not just one mask, it is a series of masks. And in the last several weeks, months, years, layer upon layer, you have been taking off those masks. That's also in connection with this card, everything you've accomplished that I mentioned, right? A big part of that accomplishment is your identity, peeling off the layers of identity, which we've all been doing, especially since 2020, right? A lot of people unawares. So it's not only that, but it's also the one big one. So it's either all of them, it's either and, two things can be true at once, or the big one, the biggest one, the one that you kept on. You did a lot of them and you're like, oh, this is the one I'm still holding on to. The biggest mask you can hold on to even is your spiritual identity, or your biggest self-identity, or the one that you show up at work as or with others, whatever it is. And it's ricocheting like as it's being peeled off. But there you are, and you are serene. Serene. These are all just ready to rip off. In fact, they show me it's like a Band-Aid that instead of pulling it off when it's still really, really stuck on your skin, it's when it starts to edge off naturally and the glue starts to loosen. That's what it's like. It's already coming off. So this is about your confidence, and I'm going to be moving into your confidence as we move along, because that was one of the messages. Okay, so this preparation group are the ones who have been maybe feeling this at whatever degree, the sense of this ignition happening, or that just know I'm preparing, I'm still preparing. I know it's there, I know it's coming, I'm still preparing. The difference is you could be in the first group holding on to, I'm just preparing because that's safe. And actually you've done all the preparing. You don't need to be perfect. Just move off the couch and do something different. Okay, using that analogy again. Or you truly are actually preparing right now. The message for that group is don't halt, question, or second guess yourself. Work through those last few layers of setback and struggles with confidence. This is about the confidence of coming out, right? Of doing that next thing. And so then after that, there's the third wave. And the third wave, that's the one where more like, oh, I'm still going through a bunch of stuff. I'm not only not ready, I'm not even like wanting to prepare yet, or I'm at the beginning stages of preparation. Again, any group can go up and down, and it's about your resonance, your consciousness, your alignment, your connection, your truth, and getting out of old patterns. So the third layer is hold your horses. Some pieces are still rearranging and preparing to come together. Again, don't you love the horse analogy? So hold your horses, quite literally. Some of you might feel like your boat is berthed at the dock still. It's rocking, but I was feeling it was rocking steadily, not rocking as crazily and abashedly as before. In the waves, you will receive your signal in due course. So just a validation there. Which group do you resonate with the most? And then you might have a second one. Is the second one, is the lower one of the if it's more than one, true? Or is it you holding on to the past and not having confidence to move forward? That's your like little project of reflection. Trust your intuition with it. You will know which is you. And if you do the work, you can skip groups. I've written, the angels show me it's like jumping classes. So it's like, are you at the last year of primary school and about to take the big leap into high school? Or are you, grade 4, you're a few years yet of primary school to do, a lot more learning and growth, or you're already grade 7 or higher, you're already in the higher levels of high school, leaping forward and maybe boosting ahead into another class, or you held back. Are you like the big kid in the class and you've gone around the cycle several times, right? So that's another analogy. So feel into where you are at with that. So then a few more points that I had heard with that source connection was, and these a couple of them felt a bit more random, but I wanted to put them in because they came from above. So show compassion towards yourself and others. If the word compassion is hurting in you, like you feel like, it's like bothering you, that's something to look at within yourself and why that is and what there is to work on there. As well as the next one, which is forgiveness at all levels. And then I added, because it was corrected to be, this can be indirect, meaning it doesn't have to be direct forgiveness. For example, if it's with a person, you don't have to directly go and do that, especially if you feel uncomfortable or like that's unfair, or if it's more about them than you. It's more about the type that frees you, which is indirect. So feel into what that might mean for you, if that applies. Not everything will apply to everyone. If you are seeing a highway, it's green lights ahead. That was metaphorical, typical kind of spiritual, get the, the clairvoyant image, but it could be literal or metaphoric. Stallers will see orange or red lights. So that's one of the other two tiers. And then ready, set, go. I think that's really a commentary actually on all the three levels, and that, you could be, so, and also the orange and red lights is an actual direct thing that happened to me, like probably just before I did the June energy update, a day or two before that. I literally was driving and I'm in the stage of, okay, I'm preparing to be ready. I'm literally ready. Like, what's next? When am I going to get my chance to do the thing or whatever? And then as I'm driving, I literally got every single red light on the long, annoying, busy road. And every single one, orange or red. And the type of orange where you end up stopping. And I was like, okay, universe, I get it. Okay, so now I'm going to go through just very briefly the kind of what I felt was a kind of pattern between early, mid, and late June. And when I do this, I don't always do it. I keep it relaxed. I don't like to focus on time. I don't like to be like, oh, on this day or in this week, this will happen, because we're moving through so many things at once, and things could be something from that we might feel is more early June might happen later, right? Okay. So there could be a synchronicity between all of them. But basically early to mid to late June, just the whole travel through, is major identity shift. Here we go. This makes sense, doesn't it? Into confidence, visibility, action. You might feel shifts in your use of time and daily routine. It's about shifting and stabilizing these new ways in the new energy. Let's look at the rough flow, though it may show for you differently. Okay, so that was a synopsis. Early June. Internal ignition. There we go. Ignition. Deep emotional and intuitive awareness. I feel that that's in this card. You're trusting in yourself, or you might, I'm hearing and seeing like it's 80-20 or whatever percentage. You might trust 80 and be worried 20 or a different percentage. What's your percentage? Fill into that. Okay, so it's about shifting and stabilizing these new ways in the new energy. It's more inward, it's more reflective, attuned to emotional truth. You have a desire to move, your confidence is rising, you have an emotional and intuitive sensitivity and awareness, and ideas are forming. Okay, and trust in that. Mid-June is an internal alignment and external opening up. It's really important to keep refreshing back into alignment, and that opening up can also be an activation. There's heart expansion, creative spark happening, confidence and expression, mental reset, new direction, ideas, clarity, and also deep body safety and healing. So whatever that 20% of the fears and that security, insecurity, that's beginning to be digested and healed. Late June, acceleration, as well as integration, forward momentum. And here's the thing, right? We leap forward, this is acceleration, but at the same time, we're halted a little bit with reality checks, sensibility, Capricorn type stuff, decisions, emotional review, truth surfacing. This is when even like Mercury retro coming in, right? So your direction is solidifying, but we have to have those moments of peeling back, going, okay, what's next? I'm recalibrating, I'm working through this thing now, this emotional thing came up or whatever. It's also about grounding, accountability. And then the next phase of preparation and launching into the new chapter with a new long year cycle beginning or new energy beginning. July is going to be huge. August, always huge with the Lion's Gate, right? So we've got a lot more coming up. This is the start of it, and I'm feeling it's like they're showing me it's the starter fire. They're showing me like a campfire where you need to do the, what do they call the little wood under? Kindle. And which is interesting, it's Kindle, isn't it? Because it's like ignition is, igniting is like kindling, rekindling. It could be rekindling, like I said before, emerge, re-emerge, kindling, rekindling, igniting, reigniting. And so they show that there's the initial little spark, and then as you nurture it, as you pause, as you blow the embers, as you put more wood and logs and connect with nature more, and if you're in the right alignment, the bigger fire activates. Okay, and so now I'm going to go through some astrological, just some markers in June. There's always astrological stuff happening. I'm not an astrologer. I just know some stuff and I get the basic information, and then I feel into what I feel. Sometimes too, I'll listen to an astrologer and I'll just get one little word or a sentence that they're saying, and then that's it. Okay, oh, here's the thing, here's what we need to know. So June 9 is Venus and Jupiter in Cancer. We know Cancer's family, it's home, right? Venus is love, Jupiter's expansion. And so there's heart opening, expansion, healing, nurturing, receiving, support, connection, emotional blessings, and abundance. And it's one of the more beautiful energies of the month. So that's coming up soon. And if you're listening to this early June when I make this, and also like that, it's just a beautiful like love-based feeling, right? And what I'm really being like shown and here too is, here's a case example of what I've said, like it depends where you are on the spectrum too. Let's say that your consciousness knows that one or two people in your family might be going through some stuff, or your home's in a bit of disarray, or whatever it is. And then this love energy is coming in. If you have that intuitive consciousness, which can just be your sense of, oh, I have a sense about this person, like, or then work through that and utilize that in terms of healing the thing and helping that one through this new love energy coming in, if that makes sense. Okay, June 13, Venus in Leo, and we've got like a bit of Leo energy coming up. So astrologically, as well as that reminds me of the upcoming August Lionsgate, that big Leo energy then in the Leo season. Okay, now I just need some water. I've also told myself no editing of this video so that I make it easier for myself, and also to just keep going. Okay. So this is about returning to a return of your confidence, self-expression, self-worth, visibility, and creative fire. Okay, the rebirth, the fire, your voice, your expression. And on that note, because also my voice was starting to go and is starting to go now, I know exactly what this is about. And sorry if the mic is picking up those drinking sounds, I'm too loud. But for me, I know what this is, and it's like even before this video, just having like that voice thing come up to be speaking. And so I know my things and what I need to go through with this, and how that's relevant. What is it for you? What are the things, you can take it very literal, what are the things connected in some way to voice, to speaking your truth, to communicating, that is like an issue that has been coming up, a fear where you feel clenched about it, whether it's speaking to someone or feeling confidence or starting the thing. You'll know what it is for you. Maybe you've thought about creating a YouTube video or starting a podcast, and now my voice is going, right? This is conveying the stuck energy or the fear, and it's about getting through that, making a turn, making a change. They show me turning the turnstile, right? So, okay. So it could be like that, very, very literal, or it could be just something else, whatever you want to get started, but you got this stuff coming up. So anyway, this is about returning to your spark, being ready to be seen and out there, come out of the gates, basically. And for those of you, this is an example I wrote, for those of you wanting more social media presence, follow your urges, now is the time. Like if you want to start a TikTok, or you want to, you're starting a new business or hobby and you want to like speak about it, this is your time. Excuse me. June 15th is, so mid-month is the new moon in Gemini. So mid-month new moon is a great refresh, a reset of energy. You might find too, I often find in a new moon, I actually get really tired. Or you're energized, but sometimes it just takes those first few days after the new moon. So this one is about mental reset. It comes in like a breath of fresh air, bringing new ideas, options, fresh clarity. You might see things with a fresh perspective, and you might experience expanded or social communication, that kind of thing. It's a great time to obviously just to reset your goals, dreams, your where you are in your alignment. June 19th. Okay, so now like heading mid towards late of June. This is where I've made a video several years ago about Chiron in Aries, because it was from, I think it was 2017 or 18 up to 2027, Chiron in Aries, and it moves through some retrogrades. And so I will hopefully remember to put the link of that video at the end of this one, because it is quite helpful information about the deep healing that we've been in, right? And so June 19 up until September 17, and then it will move from Aries into Taurus, and then it will go back into Taurus until April 2027, okay? In April 27, sorry. So what I want to say about this is, when Chiron has been in Aries all this time for quite a few years now, we've gone through so much inner healing. It is like, so this card here, everything I said about everything that we've been through that we're kind of looking at now is like closing those chapters behind us and feeling a sense of accomplishment and closing, and all that stuff we've been carrying and that we're transitioning out of. That was all to do with survival stuff, deep inner healing, our wounds, going right into your inner child, just all the stuff, so much stuff. And we've done so much work. Really, the angels are saying, literally, pat yourself on the back. And also your back has taken in a lot, right? And they're showing now a new thing. Normally when we think about the luggage, the backpack, we carry it on our back. They're showing that, look how in this image she's carrying the bag in front of her, not behind her. Oh, I love the energy of this. And so not only is it that you're no longer carrying that, and of course we are still carrying parts of this, but the point of this is the energy is showing you, stop seeing it that way, stop feeling it that way. We're tail ending this, right? Let's now move that bag in front of, it's lighter now. It's not as big. Stop seeing it as bigger. It's all about our mental recalibration and our spiritual and energetic alignment and emotional. And now it's in front of us already. Do you feel that difference? If you've been having back issues as well, or anything to do, anything connected, head, neck, shoulders, back, I've got all of that. It's like, now we're carrying it forward and she's looking after it, right? And notice how it's not at the heart area, like holding on for, it's holding on, but it's like just a bit lower down. Okay, so I just felt like that needed to be said there. So now we have done so much personal life, identity, soul, and wound healing with Chiron and Aries. A major long-term healing cycle begins now, bringing in new consciousness on the topics of, now because it's moving into Taurus now, moving into Taurus is about sort of our physicality, safety, security, body, survival, stability, as well as pain and self-worth and so many things like that. So I wrote, I'm currently seeing it as the healing and growth focus moving between the solar plexus and into the root chakra. Okay, so that's interesting now, because I just said that we'd moved from the heart to the more like the stomach area, and now it's like we've got, so, and from that, because our solar plexus is also to do with our confidence and our self-power, so keep that in mind as well, whatever it is for you. And moving into the root chakra is like the reds, right? And this is about all those issues of insecurity. Now we're moving into more, let's secure them. We're doing the opposite. We're winding out of insecurity into security. And so there's a lot of, because there is a lot of insecurity in the world, this is about our own personal growth journey with that and through healing that. I also wrote, you may not feel this instantly because it's one of those longer term energies. It's slow, steady shifts. It will unfold over, you might feel it, you might not yet. June 21st, solstice and Cancer season starting, igniting, I'm just being heard. The solstice is a pivot point, turning of the year, a shift in direction, reset, recalibration, all the things. I've got a video, an article on that. I'll also pop that link in below. A new cycle begins. You might feel an opening, or you might feel inward renewal, or a kind of mix of both, right? Often there are big shifts at this time, but see how that goes for you, and just spend that time just really spiritually going into yourself. And trust your senses, I'm hearing, and what comes up. Write down what you receive. Then June 28, so now towards the end of the month, we've got several things going on. So firstly, starting Mars and Gemini, so fast activated mental energy, speeding up, quickening, quick decisions, conversations, shifts and reactions. You might want to save this video and you watch later and come back to those bits when you get there. So the end of the month, then we have what I called like a trio. We've got full moon, Mercury retro, and Jupiter entering Leo. Okay, starting with the full moon on the 29th in Capricorn. It's also Capricorn, you know, is the practical stuff, but also squaring Neptune, which is the dreamy and the clumsy even, I'm hearing, and sort of out there, can be wishy-washy. So end month intuitive illumination, with the full moon illumination, that might cause you to doubt yourself. Also check in, I'm not sure if that one's a super moon, but I'm sort of feeling it's quite a moon. Don't worry, it's likely leading into something more clear, mature, and aligned. So I wrote that because you start to doubt yourself, right? So you've made all these leaps and bounds ahead, but I've told you, and it's come through your cards, like, you know, you're gonna have those disruptive times. And when you go back and you're like self-worth issues, your fears and doubts come up, it's for a reason, right? So it's scooping up whatever stuff is coming up. It's like mirroring it to you, and it's going to lead you into something more aligned and mature. You might feel a sense of grounding, and at the same practical, get real, reality check energy. At the same time, it's quite luminary and intuitive. June 29, Mercury retrograde in Cancer. We always feel Mercury retro 2 weeks beforehand in the shadow period and 2 weeks after. It goes on for a few weeks. So, you know, all the Mercury retro stuff. If I remember, I'll put the link to that as well. But it's all the miscommunications and travel mishaps that happen, and also all the RE words: review, renew, revive, re-look at, all that stuff. So end of the month, we come up to emotional truths, review, old memories, patterns, wounds. That's what felt like because of the Cancer thing, family stuff, belonging issues, all leading into July. You might feel some effects from mid-June onwards because of the pre-shadow, and it often will slow things down for internal processing and review mode. So we'll see how that plays up in July when we get there. Also June 30, Jupiter, another big one. This is a year-long energy, enters Leo. So I said Leo is quite a thing. Jupiter is a big expansive. I love Jupiter. Jupiter's great. This is like an activation. Again, it might take time to feel. Let's see, because it's just starting at the end of June. So just to receive this into your consciousness, it's an activation of your inner and outer spark, creative expression, visibility, confidence, leadership, stepping into your light, all the things that, you know, that we've been speaking of, all like coming in. I love this one, stepping into your light. Do you really feel that? Do you feel that activation? Do you feel or sense the light within me or around me now? Do you see that in the aura? This is something that is, you know, activating in you. This is a big, powerful shift, opening up into what you want to create from your heart's desires, your soul urges, that is more alive, viable, aligned, enduring, and in the new energy. And that all feels great. It feels so good. At the same time, I'm receiving, as I'm reading it, I'm getting this feeling of, again, it's about world energy. Yes, world energy is happening. Yes, there'll be things on the news. That will be happening regardless. This is about you tuning into yourself and staying true to you and remembering, I am in alignment. Yes, this is happening. Do not link into that stuff, especially if it doesn't apply to you directly. And to keep your focus. Whereas you keep your focus, this is more going to help other people who are bombed by that, said that word. Yeah, there might be some bombings and things like that. I feel like that was not an accident word. Okay, so things might be happening, and at the same time, you working on your own alignment, switching your light on, and following your creative and heart soul urges. That's what it's about. I just saw 55 on the clock. So it's about that rapid change, shift, transformation. It does not mean that you don't care about the other stuff. Okay, we can say our prayers, but our energy, our intentions need to stay lighter and in this light. And this will help and radiate all the other stuff. This is more true than ever. And it will help keep you in the higher timeline. So this big, powerful shift is opening up what you want to create. That is more, okay, I already read that. This marks the beginning of, I wrote in bunny ears, your next chapter. Things might feel different and you might also want to take risks. It marks the beginning of, okay, so your light is switching on. So that's the image I saw. I literally saw the light switching on switch. It's an action switch, lights, camera, action. And for some, that is very, very literal. If you're one of the ones where I'm like, okay, now's the time, start your TikTok, make that video, do the podcast. This is your, again, another validation, a higher one. But it could be, it just means whatever your goal is, the thing you want to do, whatever you want to start or get going or continue doing, whatever it is. I also auto-corrected. We always say lights, camera, action, but I actually wrote in instincts, action, trusting your instincts, staying to that core. This is not just hyped up. For example, using the example, you want to make an Instagram video. It's not about all the hype and stuff. It's about, has to match and align with your instincts, your true soul callings and heart's desires, and be centered with that and in alignment. I'm seeing, okay, I read that. Depending on any other surrounding energies, it's interesting that I wrote that there as a kind of caveat because that came through here as well. This might just be what you have been waiting for, moving forward. So this is like, here's the point, and we move forward from here with this, rolling it into July, August onwards. You might not feel it kick in until July onwards. Let's see how it all unfolds. I think that's the end of it. Let's see if there's anything more. No, that's it. I'm also, as I read that out, I was feeling December, like I feel like there's some kind of activation point in December. This also happened a year or two ago in December, or maybe a few years back, when there was a big kind of energy just after Christmas or something like that. So that can be the solstice as well, around the 21st, or at some point there's an ignition point there or something about December. Okay, so that was way longer than I expected, but hopefully you have received insights, guidance, that will help you realign and keep your focus on your needle moving forward. Let me know in the comments like how you connect with this, what resonates, where you're at, what wave you're in, any doubts or fears coming up or anything like that. I love hearing from you. And also on that note, if you would like to receive emails where I do the monthly newsletter and soul emails, join my email list at spiritualcourseacademy.com/list.